Legend has it that in the world of Allwood, there was a sorcerer and also the ultimate warrior named Sang Sung. For millions of years, he had harbored the ambition of invading our Earth to turn it into a colony, transforming the blue planet into a demonic underworld. However, the primeval gods learned of his intentions, and to preserve civilization, they established rules for the battles between realms. The primeval gods devised a law stating that conquest and unification could only be carried out legally through 10 deadly martial tournaments called Mortal Kombat. Sang Sung relied on his subordinates, Allwood's most terrifying monster warriors. For over 1,000 years, he had consecutively won 9 Mortal Kombat tournaments. With only one more victory, Earth would become a colony of Allwood. Growing impatient, Sang Sung devised a cunning scheme. To secure victory, he ordered his followers to assassinate Earth's fighters before the final tournament took place. The first event happened in 1617 in Japan. At that time, the Grandmaster Ninja Hanzo Hasashi was Earth's chosen fighter, marked by the Dragon Seal. He lived peacefully with his wife and child at his clan's estate. It was the happiest time for his family. But one day, the outer guards were mysteriously slaughtered. Hanzo, who was fetching water some distance away, was unaware. In the emergency, his wife hid their newborn daughter in a small cellar. Moments later, the enemy stormed in. He introduced himself as Bi-Han from China. His purpose was to wipe out Hanzo's clan so the Dragon Seal would have no one to inherit it. Thus, even women and children were mercilessly slain. Hearing the screams, Hanzo rushed home but was too late. His wife and child had been brutally murdered by Bi-Han's underworld ice powers. As Hanzo grieved, assassins crept up on him. But being a Grandmaster Ninja, he quickly sensed their presence. With only a short sword, he dispatched 3 assassins with ease. Then, using a kunai tied to a rope, he formed the deadly long-range weapon Kyoketsu Shoge, favored by master ninjas. Within moments, dozens of assassins lay dead without getting close to him. Yet Bi-Han sat calmly in meditation, deeming Hanzo unworthy of being his opponent. Insulted and burning with vengeance for his family, Hanzo swore to kill Bi-Han. He lunged with the kunai, but Bi-Han dodged smugly. Hanzo yanked the rope back, slashing Bi-Han's face. Only then did the battle between these titans truly begin. Bi-Han's martial art, largely derived from Aogon's intercepting style, was fierce and precise. After 30 probing moves, he seized Hanzo and smashed his head onto a rock. Hanzo rebounded, slashing Bi-Han's abdomen, then pressed the attack. Bi-Han calmly blocked barehanded, grabbed the sword, stabbed Hanzo in the stomach, hurled him into a tree, and drove the blade down to finish him. Before dying, Hanzo warned him to remember his face. With Hanzo's clan annihilated, Bi-Han left in arrogant triumph. Silence and grief cloaked the estate. Moments later, Hanzo awoke briefly upon hearing his daughter cry. He tried to crawl into the house, but his wounds were too severe. He passed away, and hellfire consumed his body to ashes. The heavens, as if mourning, sent down rain. Suddenly, a figure surrounded by lightning appeared. It was Raiden, the god of thunder, protector of Earth. He came to save the infant, the last bloodline of Hanzo's clan. Raiden took the kunai and left. Time passed. Over 400 years later, with only 3 months until the 10th Mortal Kombat tournament, Sang Sung, fearing Earth might turn the tide, ordered his most trusted warrior to eliminate Earth's fighters before they awakened their powers. That warrior was none other than Bi-Han, now bearing a new name, Sub-Zero. At this time, in the earthly realm, a prominent MMA fighter named Ganzong was earning his living with his fists. He was preparing to face a formidable opponent. Before the match, his wife and daughter tended to him with care. Amid the cheers of the crowd, Ganzong opened with a kick and powerful strikes, gaining the upper hand. But after a few exchanges, the bald opponent, with years of experience, pinned Ganzong down and pummeled his face until he could no longer resist. Ganzong had to tap out. After the match, a man named Jackson approached and asked about the dragon seal on Ganzong's chest. Ganzong explained it was a birthmark, then took his wife and daughter to a diner. While washing his face, he faintly saw a fiery figure. As his daughter ate ice cream, snow suddenly appeared, freezing everything on the table. Ganzong was shocked. It was July, so how could it be snowing? From a distance, Jackson, sitting in his car, also noticed the strange phenomenon. A figure in armor appeared. It was Sub-Zero, wielding the power of ice to attack everyone. His target was Gonzong. Fortunately, Jackson was nearby, so he quickly drove over to help my family escape. He wondered why someone so terrifying would attack us. It was because he and I were warriors chosen by the gods for the coming battle, the proof being that we both bore the dragon mark on our bodies. The armored man earlier was Sub-Zero, one of the warriors representing the owl. His purpose in coming to Earthrealm was to kill anyone with the dragon mark like us. After driving for a while, Sub-Zero suddenly blocked the road ahead. Jackson urged Gonzong to take his family to seek help from someone named Sonya Brett, while he stayed behind to deal with Sub-Zero. Seeing the enemy slip into a nearby house, Jackson grabbed his gun and gave chase, only to find the place already covered in ice. While he was on alert, Sub-Zero ambushed him from behind. Jackson quickly raised his gun and fired a shot, but Sub-Zero froze the weapon solid and smashed it to pieces. Furious, Jackson lashed out with a kick. He was a Marine officer, confident in his combat skills, and charged in for close combat. Though Jackson was strong, he was still only human, whereas Sub-Zero was a half-demon with supernatural power and centuries of battle experience. In the end, Sub-Zero froze Jackson solid and destroyed both his arms. Sub-Zero then coldly shoved Jackson off the balcony. Meanwhile, Gonzong had gotten his wife and children to safety. Fearing Sub-Zero might come after him and endanger his family, he decided to separate and go find Sonya Brett as Jackson had instructed. Following Jackson's directions, Gonzong soon arrived at a scrapyard. The moment he stepped inside, a woman attacked him. He quickly explained that Jackson had sent him and that he wasn't an enemy. "Then show me the dragon mark," she demanded. He lifted his shirt, and upon seeing it, she immediately led him inside. She was Sonya Brett, a former Marine. 7 years earlier, she and Jackson had gone to Brazil to capture a fugitive. To their shock, the target had supernatural powers and wiped out Sonya's unit in an instant. Coincidentally, that fugitive also bore the dragon mark, just like Gonzong. In the end, Jackson killed him, and the mark transferred to Jackson. From that day on, Sonya began studying the dragon mark in depth. Through ancient records from various cultures, Sonya learned that those who bore the dragon mark were chosen to fight for Earthrealm survival in a death tournament called Mortal Kombat. Realizing the gravity of this, she and Jackson had spent years searching for and gathering these warriors before it was too late. During that time, Sonya captured a man named Kano, who also had the dragon mark. Since he was a notorious international criminal, she had to keep him securely bound. Suddenly, the lights went out, and something invisible moved around them. It attacked Gonzong, then slashed Kano's face. Sonya fired and discovered it was a lizard-like creature. Out of ammo, she hurled a knife at it, scoring a hit. She threw another, but this time struck Kano's leg. Gonzong lunged at the creature, but unable to see it, he was thrown aside. The monster tripped Sonya, then vanished onto the ceiling. Its saliva contained potent acid that could melt metal mass, and Kano used it to break free from his shackles. Sonya and Gonzong stood ready while Kano lit a flare and pinned it to the creature, nullifying its invisibility. Once visible, all three attacked together. Though it was a beast, it fought with human-like skill. At the right moment, Sonya leapt in and stabbed it in the chest. Kano rushed in, pulled the knife free, and reached in to rip out its heart, killing it instantly. He then proudly recorded his victory in his journal. Sonya was dismayed, however, because her research notes had been destroyed and she no longer knew the way to Lord Raiden's temple. With his years of fleeing across nations, Kano knew its location, but since it had nothing to do with him, he started to leave. Sonya offered him $2 million to guide them. Knowing his worth, he demanded 3. "Fine, deal, but you'd better keep your word," he said. "If you don't pay up, don't expect to stay in one piece." Gonzong asked Sonya if she really had 3 million. "Hell no," she replied. "If I had that kind of money, I wouldn't be living in a junkyard." Kano had been duped, but still eagerly flew them to a mountain in Lai Chau Province, Vietnam. The three then parachuted down and continued on foot. Under the sweltering heat, Kano grew irritable and picked a fight with Sonya. Enraged, she threw the jerk to the ground and pressed a knife to his throat. "I'm a former Marine, not someone you want to provoke," she warned. Suddenly, a young man appeared in the distance. Without a word, he unleashed a burst of blazing energy at Kano, then introduced himself as Liu Kang. distantly related to a wealthy noble. Knowing why they had come, Liu Kang led them into a dimly lit temple, lighting the way with his fire magic. Seeing the murals, Sonya was overjoyed that her research had been correct. Liu Kang explained that this was the place where warriors trained, and they needed to awaken the hidden power within their dragon marks before the fighters from the Owl World arrived. If we cannot awaken our hidden power, we will surely be defeated, and the fate of our realm will be ravaged by the cruel monsters from Outworld. At present, there are not many dragon mark bearers left. Fortunately, Uncle Jax is still alive, though both of his arms have been destroyed. By the time Liu Kang found Jax, it was already too late, and now the medical team is trying to heal him. After speaking, Liu Kang led everyone to meet the Thunder God Raiden. He said that the bodies and minds of the three were too weak to fight. Moreover, Sonya did not even possess the sacred dragon mark. Meanwhile, the warriors from Outworld had already won the Mortal Kombat tournament 9 times in a row. Just one more victory, and they would gain eternal control over Earth. When that happened, Shang Tsung would freely devour the souls of all mankind. If that's the case, then please guide us, they asked. Let's see what you can learn, Raiden replied. The next morning, while Liu Kang was training in the art of the fire palm, Sub-Zero suddenly appeared, attacking him with his icy strikes. At the critical moment, Kung Lao leapt in, his wide-brimmed hat spinning to block the assault. Unexpectedly, Shang Tsung and his half-demon lieutenant Mileena also arrived. Seeing the Thunder God appear, Shang Tsung declared that he was here to take over Earth. Raiden replied, "Then you must first win the 10th tournament." "Fine, Thunder God, you're right. But the conflicts outside Mortal Kombat will not be forbidden. Kill these Earthrealm warriors now," Shang Tsung ordered. Hearing this, Raiden's guardians conjured a lightning barrier to prevent Outworld's cheating. Shang Tsung and his forces had no choice but to withdraw. Kano then asked why Raiden didn't just kill the monsters to avoid further trouble. "That cannot be done," Raiden explained. "The Elder Gods have decreed that deities may not interfere in the disputes between realms. My power is limited to protecting you until the Mortal Kombat tournament begins." With time running out, everyone threw themselves into training. Liu Kang explained that their inner strength came from a mystical power called Arcana, a gift from the Dragon Mark. The purpose of training was to unlock this power, without which defeating Outworld was impossible. Sonya, lacking a Dragon Mark, could not train with the others. Liu Kang first sparred with Kano to gauge his skills. Right at the start, Kano was swept off his feet. When he got up, he was knocked down the same way again. The third time, Kano tried to leap over the attack, but still fell to Liu Kang's legendary sweep. Next, Kung Lao sparred with Cole Young, wielding his deadly wide-brimmed hat that could be thrown and recalled like a boomerang. At this time, Jax regained consciousness, now equipped with 2 mechanical arms. Though they moved well, his punches were weak, making him feel disheartened. Sonya encouraged him to keep trying, reminding him they were the US military's elite Marines and could not give up like cowards. Cole Young also felt frustrated. He asked Liu Kang how to unlock his Arcana. Liu Kang replied that it must come from the heart, from something that drives you to fight no matter the cost. That night, during dinner, Kano mocked Jax for having weak arms like a woman. Kung Lao insulted Kano in return, calling him a pig with no combat skills, unworthy of mocking others. The insults enraged Kano, and in his anger, he accidentally unlocked his Arcana, firing a laser beam from his right eye. Seeing this, Cole felt even more inadequate, still unable to awaken his own power. Liu Kang told him that pain was a powerful catalyst. Kano was then allowed to pummel him continuously, followed by Kung Lao joining in. But Cole's Arcana still did not awaken. He began to doubt his worthiness of the Dragon Mark. Raiden then revealed that Cole's mark was inherited from his ancestor, the greatest ninja Earthrealm had ever known, Hanzo Hasashi. 400 years ago, Hanzo was slain by Baihan. Believing he had wiped out Hanzo's clan, Baihan did not know a newborn had survived. Hanzo's soul had since been tormented by the flames of the Netherrealm, which explained why Cole often saw visions of him. Seeing Cole as useless and unworthy, Raiden decided to open a portal for him to return to his family. Meanwhile, in Outworld, Shang Tsung began assembling his warriors to attack Raiden's temple. Among them was the fearsome monster Goro. First, Shang Tsung sent Kabul to persuade Kano to join Outworld. As an international criminal, Kano would betray anyone for profit. When promised ownership of a casino, he immediately blasted the lightning barrier from within, allowing Shang Tsung and his forces to invade the temple. Now everyone finally knew the traitor was that scumbag Kano. Enraged, Kung Lao hurled his hat at Shang Tsung, but he dodged with ease. Since there was no one here worthy of his own hand, Shang Tsung simply sat back and ordered his minions to strike. The first even match was between Cabal and Liu Kang. With his super-speed teleportation, Cabal quickly took the upper hand, overwhelming Liu Kang. On another side, Sonya faced the demoness Mileena. Being only human, Sonya was swiftly defeated, but Mileena discovered she was not one of the chosen fighters. Killing her would bring no gain, so Mileena left. Jax, having just recovered from his injuries, was still weak. The brute Reiko only needed a few heavy blows to knock him flat. Meanwhile, Kung Lao encountered a vicious winged vampire. As she swooped down, he spun around, restraining her, then summoned his hat to slice the vampire in half. Elsewhere, Sonya unfortunately ran into Kano again. Taking advantage of her injuries, he tossed her aside, then fired a laser at a statue's arm, sending it crashing down onto her. Just then, Jax woke up. Summoning all his strength, he lifted the debris to save Sonya, and in doing so, unlocked his arcana. His arms transformed into advanced cybernetic limbs, multiplying his strength 100-fold. He successfully freed Sonya. Meanwhile, Cole Young was with his wife and child when the monster Goro appeared, hurling him away like trash. Fearing for their safety, Cole lured Goro into a barn, but the four-armed giant smashed through and grabbed him. Without proper training, Cole was beaten badly. Seeing her husband in danger, his wife attacked Goro with an axe, but the monster swatted her aside. He dropped Cole and turned on the mother and child. They managed to get into a car, but Goro pulled her out. In the desperate moment, Cole unlocked his arcana, his body now encased in golden armor. He grabbed Goro's arm and broke the armor plate on it. Roaring in pain, Goro smashed him away with a car door. The beast reset his arm joint and charged for melee combat. This time, protected by his armor, Cole could withstand Goro's crushing blows and countered, even throwing the monster to the ground. Though Goro tossed him off, Cole conjured twin energy blades, slashing Goro's belly and stabbing through his eye, killing him. Raiden appeared and teleported Cole away. It turned out all of this was Raiden's plan. He had deliberately left the temple to lure Shang Tsung and his minions in, forcing Earthrealm's fighters to unlock their arcanas under pressure. Thank you, Shang Tsung. Because of you, my warriors have perfected their bodies and spirits, Raiden said, summoning lightning to take them away. But Sub-Zero blocked Cole's escape. Kung Lao threw his hat to save him, but Shang Tsung, furious, unleashed a soul-stealing technique, killing Kung Lao instantly. The others were taken by Raiden to a safe place, an in-between realm where evil couldn't enter. Here they began planning to counter Outworld's fighters. Cole came up with the idea to split their enemies up for easier kills. Using Raiden's lightning teleportation, Cole and Liu Kang would face Mileena, Cabal and Sonya would handle Kano, while Jax would confront Reiko in Outworld. With his new strength, Jax quickly overpowered Reiko, first destroying his hammer, then crushing his head with his cybernetic arms. Meanwhile, Cole's battle with Mileena was fierce. Thanks to his indestructible armor, he could endure her blows. Liu Kang found the flaw in Cabal's teleportation technique, seized the advantage, and unleashed the 10th form of his Dragon Fire technique, Dragon's Wrath, burning Cabal alive. Sonya also gained the upper hand against Kano. Though his laser eye was dangerous, she countered it, and in close combat, the trained Marine outclassed him. Kano, relying on brute strength, grabbed her and tried to choke her out, but Sonya snatched a sharp-headed figurine and stabbed his eye, killing him. The sacred marking transferred to her. Back with Cole, Mileena's phasing attacks made her hard to hit, reminiscent of Doctor Strange's portals. At that moment, Sonya arrived, using her arcana to blast a hole through Mileena, killing her instantly. Now only Sub-Zero remained. Raiden gave Cole his ancestral kunai. While Cole was away, Sub-Zero had captured his wife and daughter, luring him to an icy lair. Cole arrived to see them frozen solid. Kanjan furiously charged at Sub-Zero. Quick as lightning, Sub-Zero locked Kanjan's arm, froze his sword, and shoved him away. Seizing the advantage, Sub-Zero lunged forward again and froze Kanjan's entire body. In the face of death, Kanjan drew his ancestral dagger and slashed at Sub-Zero, but the weapon was snatched away. Suddenly, a flaming chain spear shot in, piercing Sub-Zero's arm and yanking him upward. The figure who appeared was none other than Kanjan's ancestor, Hanzo Hasashi. Now reborn as Scorpion, risen from the depths of hell to exact vengeance on Sub-Zero, he conjured an ice blade to clash with his foe, just as they had in the past. Both were peerless ninja masters, evenly matched in skill and power. Scorpion lashed out with his chain spear, but Sub-Zero dodged. This time, he avoided the facial scar he had suffered long ago, countering with a slash that drew blood, then stabbing with it before hurling Scorpion into an ice wall. Taking advantage of the chaos, Kanjan tried to break the ice prison holding his wife and child, but the two combatants crashed down nearby. Kanjan joined forces with his ancestor to take on the overwhelmingly strong Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero froze Scorpion's legs, focusing on fighting Kanjan. Unwilling to stay down, Scorpion unleashed his Hellfire Fist, smashing the ground to shatter the ice. Kanjan managed to lock Sub-Zero's arm, stab him, then grab his leg and hurl him into a netted wall. Scorpion followed up with another chain spear, driving it into Sub-Zero's chest. Retrieving the chain, he removed his mask and declared that centuries of torment in hell had only fueled his hatred. Every day, he remembered the brutal death of his wife and child, and that burning desire for revenge had allowed him to master the true hellfire. Now he could unleash its flames straight into Baihan's face, ending the vendetta. Scorpion urged his nephew to keep the Hanzo bloodline alive, then vanished into the infernal flames. At that moment, the Thunder God appeared, satisfied with their victory. But the battle was far from over. Shang Tsung declared that no matter how many of his warriors they killed, others would take their place. Killing his fighters today was no true victory. Death was merely another doorway. Next time, he would return with an army of demons to conquer Earthrealm. Hearing this, the Thunder God Ben used lightning to banish Shang Tsung back to Outworld, preparing for the 10th Mortal Kombat tournament in 3 months. He said they needed to recruit more champions, starting with Hollywood fighter Johnny Cage. The film paused here. When the 10th Mortal Kombat tournament begins, I'll continue the review for you.